My friends come first. You're optional. Deal with it, my girlfriend said when she ditched our anniversary for her friend group. I quietly packed my things and left. She called me controlling, then brought them to confront me. Their public meltdown exposed everything they'd been hiding. Hey, Reddit! My girlfriend chose her friend group over me at every turn, so I finally said, nah, I'm done, packed up, and walked away. But her little core wasn't finished. Before we get to that, let me start from the beginning. I'm 27 and just ended a 2-year relationship because apparently I was dating 5 people, not one. My girlfriend Natalie is 25, and somewhere along the way I became an accessory to her friend group instead of an actual boyfriend. We moved in together about 7 months ago. Split rent, utilities, groceries, found a decent 2-bedroom in Riverside. $3,600 a month total, so $1,800 each. I work as a fire safety inspector for the city. Decent money, stable schedule. Thought we were building towards something real. Marriage eventually, maybe kids. Turns out I was reading a completely different book. Natalie works as a graphic designer for some startup downtown. Makes about the same as me. We split everything 50-50. Would have been simple if the core hadn't been involved in every decision. The core. Brittany, Brandon, Ivy, and Cole. They call themselves that without any irony. Started in college, became permanent identity, been inseparable for 7 years. They run their friendship like a small business. Shared spreadsheets, coordinated schedules weeks ahead, constant group chat buzzing with 300 messages daily. Together 3 or 4 times weekly. Monday trivia, Wednesday climbing, Friday movie nights, plus spontaneous weekends. My buddies and I grab beers twice a month. Normal stuff. We all have our own lives, but the core operates differently, and Natalie acts like missing one event means exile. That fear ruled everything. The group chat is constant. Her phone buzzes during meals, movies, conversations, 3 in the morning sometimes. I watched her check it during her uncle's funeral, because Cole needed everyone to weigh in about some girl. Cole's the worst, always fishing for details about other people's drama. Needs chaos to feel relevant. If there's a conflict anywhere in their social circle, he's the one narrating it to everyone else like it's breaking news. Makes everything into a story for the group chat. The breaking point came last week. Our 2-year anniversary was Saturday. I'd planned it a month ago. Made reservations at Marcello's where we had our first date. Got Radiohead tickets since she'd been obsessing over their tour. Even bought her that vintage typewriter from the antique shop she kept visiting. Told her about it 3 weeks ahead because I knew she scheduled everything with the core in advance. Wanted to lock it in early. Found her Thursday night scrolling Instagram stories of her friends at some brewery. Hey, just confirming Saturday. Reservations are at 7 and the concert's at 9. Her face dropped. Oh, that's Ivy's birthday pregame. I can't miss that. Stomach flip. Could they do Friday or Sunday? Her birthday's not even Saturday. And we planned this 3 weeks ago. Head shaking. Saturday's the only night everyone can make it work together. Brandon's got his exam Sunday. Brittany's been working doubles and needs this. Cole just broke up with that girl and he's a mess. We haven't had all 5 of us together for a proper full night hang in almost a month. But it's our anniversary. Once a year. You can see them any other time. That's when everything shifted. She sat back, crossed her arms. Love can wait. Friendship can't. They were here before you, and they'll be here after. I stared. Not if something happens or God forbid, just casual after. Like our breakup was already scheduled between Brittany's birthday and their summer beach trip. This wasn't the first time. My sister's wedding 2 months ago. Destination wedding in Santa Barbara. I was a groomsman. Natalie was my +1, but the core got festival tickets same weekend. She went Thursday through Sunday, sent me photos of them covered in body paint, showed up looking destroyed, stayed 90 minutes before leaving. My sister asked what was going on, said Natalie seemed miserable to be there. When my dad had his heart procedure and was hospitalized overnight, Natalie couldn't visit. Weekly movie night. They were watching the extended Lord of the Rings trilogy. She said she couldn't let the group down, that my dad was stable anyway. My dad, who'd always treated her like family, was recovering from cardiac ablation, and movie night took priority. But she expects me to drop everything for her. 3 months ago, she called at 1:30 in the morning to pick her up from some club downtown. Cole was too wasted to drive. Got there, and she barely acknowledged me. 20-minute ride home listening to recap of bar drama. Last week, I overheard her on the phone with Ivy. Apparently, I'm going through some controlling phase. Like I'm the problem for wanting basic priority. I've tried talking to her about balance dozens of times. She promises to do better, then immediately makes plans that exclude me. When I point it out, she says I'm isolating her. Right now, I'm in a coffee shop 4 blocks from our apartment. Been looking at rentals. Found a 1-bedroom 15 minutes away. Application is in my drafts. I love her, or thought I did, but I can't keep coming last. My buddy Owen thinks I should give her an ultimatum, but I'm exhausted from begging someone to prioritize me. Submitted that application 15 minutes after leaving the coffee shop. Got approval 2 days later. Spent the next 10 days moving out whenever Natalie was gone. Every night. Tuesday dinner with Brittany. Wednesday climbing. Thursday some rooftop bar Cole wanted to try. Friday movie night. Saturday brunch and shopping. Made it easy to pack without drama. Started small. Clothes, books, supplies. Things she wouldn't notice immediately. Natalie's naturally messy. Leaves her stuff everywhere. Barely looks at what's mine versus hers. Plus, she never goes in my closet or checks my side of things. By day 6, I'd moved about half my belongings. My new place was taking shape while our apartment just looked slightly less cluttered, which honestly, she probably appreciated. Friday night around 1, I was packing a few more boxes when I heard her key. She'd texted an hour earlier they were wrapping up. Her footsteps stopped in the living room. "Where's all your stuff? Where are you?" Voice getting higher with each room. Kitchen, bathroom, office, found me in the bedroom. She stood scanning. My closet mostly empty, nightstand cleared, gaming setup gone. "Are you moving out?" Handed her the letter I'd written. 2 pages. Said I needed someone who actually wanted to prioritize our relationship. That I couldn't keep feeling like an afterthought. That I'd spent 2 years hoping she'd figure out what I needed, but it was clear she couldn't or wouldn't. She read it once fast, then slower. When she looked up, her expression had changed. "You're seriously leaving me because I have friends? Because I won't abandon everyone? Not about having friends." Then what? She waved the letter. "This reads like you want me to choose. I want you to care about me too. Want to feel like I matter." Stared at me like I was insane. "Of course you matter. But I can't ditch everyone every time you want attention." That word. Attention. Like wanting our anniversary together was me being needy. I asked for one evening. Our anniversary. That I planned 3 weeks ago. And I explained why that night mattered. More important than us. She threw her hands up. "This is ridiculous. You're throwing away 2 years because you can't handle me having a life. You knew who I was." I looked at her and realized she genuinely believed this. In her mind, I was the problem. "Thought I knew who you were. Thought you wanted to build something with me." "I do. Just not if it means cutting everyone off." "Nobody's asking you to cut them off. Just make space for me too." Already shaking her head. We circled like that for 20 minutes. Same arguments. She saw me as controlling. I saw it as basic needs. No middle ground. Finally held up my hands. "I'm done." "Done arguing or done with us?" "Both." That seemed to hit different. Her posture changed. Then she started following me around listing memories, but every memory involved her friends. "Remember that concert where we ran into Brittany and Brandon? That dinner we cooked for the whole core?" Like she couldn't recall experiences that were just us. Told her I'd get the rest this weekend while she was at Ivy's pool party. Left my key on the counter and walked out. Saturday morning, I'm unpacking when my phone explodes. Natalie calling back to back. When I don't answer, texts start. Long paragraphs about talking like adults. How I'm being immature. How relationships need communication. Ignored it all. Figured she'd move on. Wrong. By noon, the core started messaging individually. Brittany sent a massive text about how devastated Natalie is. How I'm breaking up the family. Used therapy speak about boundaries and emotional labor. Said I needed to unpack my need for priority. That wanting to center myself in her life was toxic masculinity. Brittany's had 3 relationships crash and burn in the past 4 years. And now she talks like every man is a case study. Cole called me selfish for ghosting instead of working things out. Brandon tried the reasonable approach, said we should all meet and discuss properly. Even Ivy, who I'd spoken to maybe 8 times total, sent me a voice message. Didn't say much, just sighed a lot and said, "Energy doesn't lie, and I'm sending light." Messages got aggressive. "You're going to regret this. Natalie deserves better." Real mature. By Sunday, they'd moved to calling me emotionally abusive for abandoning her without warning, despite the detailed letter. Monday evening, I got home around 7, parked and walked to my building entrance. That's when I saw them. All 5 standing outside like an intervention squad. Natalie front and center, the others lined up behind. She started talking before I reached the door. Loud enough for the whole block. "We need to settle this now. You don't get to disappear. We're all adults here. There's nothing to settle. Made my decision, explained my reasons. I'm leaving." Reached for the door. Natalie's voice stopped me. Shaky but loud. "You can't just walk away from 2 years like it meant nothing. That's not fair." Turned back. Fair was our anniversary. Fair was my sister's wedding. Fair was my dad in the hospital. I chose me. That's what's unfair to you. Brandon stepped forward. "Dude, you're being selfish. Know how much you're hurting her? Hurting all of us?" I looked at him. What exactly did I do to hurt people I barely know? Apparently, dating Natalie made me part of their family system. Leaving her was abandoning all of them. Most codependent thing I'd ever heard. It was surreal. Brittany was talking about safe spaces and healthy communication. Brandon kept trying to mediate. Ivy was on her phone, probably texting in the group chat. Cole was fishing for details, asking leading questions, clearly loving the drama. And Natalie just stood there nodding like this ambush was normal. You have 30 seconds to leave before I call security. They didn't move. Walked inside and called security exactly like I said. Security came out, asked them to leave. They argued but eventually backed off. Not before Natalie shouted this wasn't over. That was a month ago. Calls and texts finally stopped after 2 weeks. Still get occasional messages from random numbers. But they haven't shown up again. Management knows to watch for them. Don't regret leaving for a second. But I'm shocked by how aggressive it got. In the weeks after that building confrontation, things got coordinated. Owen works at the same gym as Brandon. He started telling me Brandon was spreading things, said I isolated Natalie from her support system, that I had anger issues and control problems, classic stuff. No specifics, just vague implications meant to make me sound dangerous without saying anything I could actually challenge. Then the social media campaign started. Ivy posted photos of her and Natalie looking sad with captions like, healing era, and when they show you who they are, believe them. Never said my name. Just created vague clouds where people filled in the blanks themselves. Brittany posted Instagram threads about recognizing controlling behavior. Started general, got specific. If your partner gets upset when you spend time with friends, that's not love. That's control. Tagged Natalie. Everyone connected the dots. Cole worked the Whisper network. Reached out to mutual friends individually. Just checking in conversations that turned into Natalie's pretty shaken up. The way he left was intense. She said he'd been getting really demanding. Complete lies, but said like reluctant concern. I didn't respond to any of it at first. Saved screenshots instead. Every post, every message, every third-hand story that came back to me. Documented timestamps. Built a file. Organized it by date and person. Made notes about what was provably false versus what was just implication. Owen told me to defend myself publicly. Post my side. Clear my name. I told him to wait. That reacting too early would make me look defensive. That I needed to let them overplay their hand. The real escalation came 3 weeks after I moved out. Got a fraud alert on my phone while I was doing an inspection at a restaurant downtown. $847 charged to my credit card. Same card I'd let Natalie keep during our relationship for emergency. Car trouble, medical stuff, whatever came up. I'd honestly forgotten she still had it. Check the transaction details. Previous Friday night. Expensive Italian place near the waterfront. Right when the Corps had posted about their Support Natalie dinner. All 5 of them at some trendy spot with exposed brick and $30 pasta. Called the restaurant from the parking lot. Asked to speak to a manager. Explained I was disputing a charge from Friday. Manager pulled up the transaction. Said yes. Party of 5. Reserved under Natalie's name. Multiple bottles ordered. Appetizers, entrees, desserts, cocktails. Bill came to just over $700 before she added a 20% tip. Brought it to $847 total. When the bill came, Natalie handed over my card. Signed the receipt. She'd used my credit card to fund an expensive dinner, where they were probably all talking about what a terrible person I was. Felt justified. Thought I owed her. Called my bank immediately. Disputed the charge as unauthorized use. Explained the card was supposed to be for emergencies only, that I'd broken up with the person and forgotten to cancel it. They froze the transaction, started an investigation, issued me a new card number. Then I sent Natalie one text. Only message I'd sent since leaving. Using my credit card without permission is fraud. Amount has been disputed and reported. Any further contact goes through official channels only. Hit send. Blocked her number immediately after. That's when Brittany tried to spin it. Posted within hours. Financial abuse doesn't end when the relationship does. Weaponizing money to punish someone for leaving is textbook controlling behavior. Cutting someone off from resources they relied on is manipulation. The comments ate it up. People I didn't even know calling me manipulative. Saying I was proving I'd been controlling all along. Saying this was why Natalie needed her friends. But I had receipts. Bank statements showing the card was opened for emergencies. Text messages from months ago where Natalie and I discussed it, where she agreed it was for emergencies only. Transaction history showing she'd used it exactly once during our entire relationship, for a car tow, which I'd told her to do. Then nothing until after we broke up. Still didn't post anything, just saved Brittany's post. Added it to the file. Then things got worse. Week after the credit card incident, I went back to our old apartment to get my final boxes. I'd taken over the lease temporarily when Natalie moved out 2 weeks prior, just to finish the move out cleanly and handle the logistics. She'd gotten her stuff earlier. Landlord was there for a routine inspection. Mentioned Natalie had been by the previous day. Said she'd taken some mail. He thought it was strange since she'd already moved out and wasn't on the lease anymore. Asked what she took. He didn't know specifics. Just saw her leaving with some envelopes. I checked my mail pile I'd left on the kitchen counter. Important stuff was gone. DMV renewal notice for my vehicle registration, credit card statement, some documents from work about my benefits enrollment. Not trash, not junk mail. Specific important documents that would cause me problems if I missed them. That crossed a line. Taking mail is federal, and she was no longer a tenant. Called the landlord, explained the situation, said I needed the locks changed since my ex-girlfriend, who was no longer on the lease, had apparently kept a key and was entering without permission and taking my mail. He agreed immediately. Mail theft is a federal crime. Rekeyed it that afternoon. Gave me the only copy. I sent Natalie a formal email through the landlord stating she no longer had any access to the property and any further entry without permission would be trespassing. Cole tried to spin it. Posted something vague about illegal lockouts and retaliation tactics. Made it sound like I was doing it to hurt her. Left out that her lease had ended. Left out that she'd already gotten everything. Left out the mail theft. Just painted me as petty. Around this time, Owen started noticing something at the gym. Brandon was showing up with Emma more often, working out together, leaving together, looking relaxed. Owen mentioned Emma had given Brandon a clear boundary early on. She wasn't dating him and 4 other people. If he wanted a relationship with her, he needed to establish boundaries with his friends, to prioritize their relationship sometimes, to not need group approval for every decision. Same thing I'd asked for. Exact same thing. And Brandon was doing it, pulling back from constant core activities, missing events, not responding to the group chat as quickly, building a life with Emma. Natalie confronted him at the gym, asked why he was becoming like Devin, why he was choosing Emma over the family. Brandon told her she was being unreasonable, that he was allowed to have a relationship, that she needed to grow up. First crack in the core. Then Brittany got promoted and moved to Seattle. Ivy and Cole made their relationship official. Every change made Natalie spiral harder, trying to hold everything together through guilt and manipulation. Owen said she'd been telling everyone it was my fault, that I'd poisoned them all, that everyone was pulling a Devin, like I was patient zero for growing up, but I still stayed quiet, documented everything, kept building my file, saved every post, every screenshot, every third-hand story, organized it chronologically, made notes about what could be proven false versus what was just spin. Because I knew they weren't done yet. People like this never are. They'd push until they got the dramatic confrontation they wanted. And when they did, I'd be ready. The second ambush came at a coffee shop 6 weeks after I moved out. Meeting Owen for lunch at Groundwork Coffee on 4th. Walked in around noon, and there they were. Natalie, Brittany, Brandon, and Ivy. Cole, notably absent, probably working. Corner table near the window. All saw me immediately. This wasn't random. Owen had texted me that morning confirming noon. I'd confirmed back. Then 20 minutes before I arrived, he texted saying he'd be late. Looking back, I realized the timing was too perfect. They must have been watching the entrance, waiting for me to show up alone. Whether they got lucky with Owen's delay, or had been staking out multiple days, I don't know. But they were ready. Brandon stood first, pushed his chair back. Devin, man, can we talk for a minute? Just a conversation. I looked at him, looked at the table. Adults don't bring an audience to negotiations. Brittany stepped forward. We're not here to attack you. We think you owe Natalie a real conversation, instead of hiding behind blocked numbers. I don't owe anyone a performance. Already said what I needed to say. I'm leaving. Reached for the door. Natalie's voice stopped me, shaky but loud. You can't just walk away from 2 years like it meant nothing. That's not fair. Turned back. Fair was our anniversary. Fair was my sister's wedding. Fair was my dad in the hospital. I chose me. That's what's unfair to you. Brandon tried again, voice dropping to reasonable. Look, we all care about both of you. This doesn't have to end like this. Just sit down for 10 minutes. It already ended. You're just mad you weren't consulted. Ivy had her phone out. Not subtle. Recording from waist level. I smiled at her. Get my good side if you're going to lie about me. She lowered it. Partially. Angle changed but still recording. Brittany jumped in. You're clearly hurt and that's valid. But Natalie deserves real closure. She deserves to understand why you abandoned her. Closure isn't a service I provide. We're done here. Walked to the counter. Ordered coffee to go. The barista looked uncomfortable. Paid. Stood waiting while they regrouped behind me. Brittany's voice carrying. He's not ready for mature conversation. Walking away again. Natalie crying. He won't even look at me. Brandon trying to sound calm. Give him a minute. Got my coffee. Walked past their table. Didn't acknowledge them. Just left. Outside, I heard Brittany through the door saying something about unhealthy patterns. Heard Natalie's voice break. Sent Owen a text to meet somewhere else. But that interaction told me something different than the building ambush. That one had been aggressive, confrontational, demanding. This one was performed, calculated. They wanted me to look cold. Wanted footage of me walking away while Natalie cried. Wanted to show people I wouldn't even talk to her. The escalation was strategic now, not just emotional. Week later, Ivy posted a 15-second clip to her story, carefully edited. Just me saying I don't owe anyone a performance, and walking away while Natalie cried in the background. Caption: when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Comments calling me cold and heartless. But she'd cut everything. The ambush, the forced confrontation, the context. I screenshotted it before it disappeared, added it to my file. Then something unexpected happened. Got a DM from someone I didn't know. Profile said Jeremy Martinez. Mutual friends with Brittany. Message said, Brittany's ex. Heard you're dealing with the core's garbage. I've got stuff you might want to see. I was skeptical but curious. Asked what kind of stuff. He sent screenshots. Group chat between Brittany, Ivy, and Natalie from before the coffee shop. Planning it. Brittany: we need to corner him somewhere public so he can't just disappear. Coffee shop near his work would be perfect. If we can catch him when he's meeting Owen, even better. Ivy: I'll record the whole thing. Get his reaction when Natalie tries to talk to him. People need to see how cold he is. Natalie: what if he just leaves? Brittany: then we have that on camera too. Either way, we win. Another screenshot. Conversation between Brittany and Natalie about the credit card. Brittany: he won't notice. Use it for the dinner. Consider it what he owes you for emotional damages. Natalie: are you sure? Feels wrong. Brittany: he abandoned you. He doesn't get to play victim. Use the card. Then voice note transcripts. Brittany talking to Natalie, coaching her through responses, giving her literal lines for arguments with me. Brittany's voice in transcript. You need to control the narrative before he does. Post about healing. Let people read between the lines. Don't give him space to defend himself. Jeremy's next message. She did the same to me 2 years ago. Told everyone I was controlling when I asked her to stop prioritizing the group. Tried to destroy my reputation. I saved everything because I knew she'd do it again. I thanked him. Asked why he was helping. His response: because Cole's been DMing people saying you threatened Natalie. That's dangerous. Someone needs to stop them. Also, I'm petty, and watching Brittany face consequences would be satisfying. Fair enough. He sent one more thing. Screenshot from months ago. Brittany coaching Natalie through a fight with me from when we were together. Giving her lines word for word. Brittany: tell him he's isolating you. Use the word controlling. Make him defend himself so you can turn it around. Natalie: but he just asked me to skip one game night. Brittany: doesn't matter. Make him feel like he's the problem. Proof Natalie wasn't even speaking for herself. She was performing scripts. I saved everything Jeremy sent. Thanked him repeatedly. Told him I might need him to verify it was real. He said anytime. Said he'd be happy to go on record. That Brittany had done this to at least 2 other guys. That it was her pattern. Now I had a decision. Drop all of this publicly right now. Or wait for the right moment. I decided to wait. Because I knew they weren't done yet. The moment came 2 months after the breakup. Owen's friend Chris was getting engaged to his girlfriend Amanda. Big party at this event space downtown called The Foundry. Nice venue, exposed brick, string lights, open bar, about 80 people. Owen told me a week before that Chris and Amanda wanted me there. They knew the whole story. Amanda had actually dealt with the core before through mutual friends at some birthday party. Thought they were exhausting and performative. She'd apparently told Chris when they were planning the guest list, if Natalie shows up and causes drama, I'm personally throwing her out myself. I asked Owen if they'd been invited. He checked with Chris. Turned out Brandon was invited as someone's +1, some co-worker of Chris's who knew him, which meant the whole core might show up. They always traveled as a unit. I told Owen I'd go anyway. Bring my new girlfriend Zoe. I wasn't hiding. I'd been seeing Zoe for about 6 weeks at that point. Met her through work. She's an architect who does building consultations with the fire department, checking compliance for commercial spaces. We'd run into each other at a few job sites, started talking, grabbed coffee. She was calm, confident, didn't need drama. She knew about Natalie. I'd given her the overview during our 3rd date. Didn't hide anything. Told her about the core, the breakup, the harassment, all of it. Expected her to maybe be concerned. Instead, she just shrugged and said her ex had been similar. When I mentioned the engagement party and the possibility of running into Natalie and the whole core, Zoe didn't hesitate. If they start something and it gets unsafe or weird, we leave. Otherwise, I'm not intimidated by your ex-girlfriend and her fan club. They sound exhausting, but I can handle exhausting. That's when I knew she was different. No drama, no possessiveness, just normal about it. Day of the party, I wore a suit. Charcoal gray, one I'd had tailored last year. Zoe wore this dark green dress that looked incredible on her. We showed up around 8, party already in full swing. Place was packed, music playing from a DJ in the corner, people clustered around high-top tables, bartenders working the open bar hard, string lights everywhere. Chris and Amanda looked happy, greeting people, thanking everyone for coming. Saw Owen first near the bar. He came over immediately, hugged Zoe, whispered to me that the core was there. All 5 of them. Brandon had brought Emma, but somehow the rest had tagged along anyway. They were posted up near the back corner by the emergency exit. Natalie in a white dress that was way too formal for someone who wasn't the bride, like she'd dressed for her own event. Owen also mentioned he'd quietly warned Chris and Amanda they were there. Amanda's immediate response, "If they try anything, they're out. This is our night." I thanked him. Zoe and I grabbed drinks from the bar. Gin and tonic for me, sparkling water with lime for her. Went and congratulated Chris and Amanda. They seemed genuinely happy to see me. Amanda pulled me aside for a second. "Devin, if your ex tries something, don't engage. Just let me know. Let me handle it. Nobody's ruining this." I appreciated that. Told her I wasn't expecting trouble, but I understood. For about an hour, everything was fine. Zoe and I talked to people, chatted with Owen and his girlfriend, met some of Chris's work friends, danced a little when a good song came on, had a legitimately good time. I could feel Natalie watching from across the room, but she wasn't approaching. Then around 9:30, she moved. I saw it happening. She stood up from their table, said something to the others. They all stood too. Brittany and Ivy pulled out their phones. Cole was already recording. Brandon looked uncomfortable but followed. Emma stayed at the table. They walked over as a unit. Natalie's voice cut through the music. "Devin, we need to talk. Right now. In front of everyone." Several heads turned. I looked up at her. Took a sip of my drink. "No, we don't. You owe me an explanation. You don't get to just leave and move on and act like I'm nothing." I already chose. That's why I'm smiling. Her eyes went to Zoe. "So you moved on that fast? 2 years meant nothing?" Zoe didn't even blink. Just looked at Natalie calmly. "This isn't a conversation. It's a performance." Natalie's face flushed. "You don't even know what happened. You don't know what he's capable of." Zoe took a sip of her drink. "You're right. I don't know your version. And I don't need to. Because he's here with me. And you're here with an audience." Brittany stepped in. Phone up. Recording. Natalie deserves closure. She deserves to understand why Devin abandoned her. I stood up. Truth doesn't need a ring light. Then looked at Natalie. "You want to tell everyone what happened? Tell them about our anniversary, my sister's wedding, my dad's hospital visit. Tell them about using my credit card. Tell them how your friends coached you with literal scripts." Her face changed. Panic flickered. "How did you—" Cole stepped forward, going live on Instagram. Voice loud. "Yo, this is crazy. Devin's here with some new girl and Natalie's finally confronting him. This is what accountability looks like." An older guy nearby spoke up. "Are you seriously live streaming at someone's engagement party? Put your phone away." Cole kept filming. "Public space. First Amendment." Venue staff stepped closer. "This is private property. You can leave or you can be removed." I looked at Cole. Bro's treating this like content. That's the whole diagnosis. That's when Amanda arrived. Chris behind her. Her face was set. "What's going on over here?" Natalie turned to her. Desperate. He needs to explain himself. He can't just be here with someone new like nothing happened. Amanda looked at me. "Devin, you good?" "I'm fine. They're the problem." Natalie's voice rising. Shrill. "No, you don't get to stay comfortable while I'm forced to see you moved on. You don't get to be happy." Amanda's expression went ice cold. "Actually, he does. This is my engagement party. And you're leaving. All of you. Right now." Brittany stepped in. Still filming. "We're friends of Brandon's. We were invited." Amanda looked at Brandon. "You brought them?" Brandon stepped back from the group. "I brought Emma. They just tagged along. I didn't know they were going to—" Amanda's jaw set. "Then they can leave with you. Out!" Chris was backing her up. Venue staff and security moved closer. That's when Brittany screwed up. Said it directly to camera. "This is what it looks like when someone gets protected after being emotionally abusive. This is male privilege in action." Amanda pointed at the phone. "Put that away now, or security takes it." An older woman nearby spoke up. "This is embarrassing. Leave these people alone." Security started escorting them toward the exit. Cole's livestream cutting out. Natalie tried one last time. Looked right at me. Loud enough for everyone. You're not allowed to move on before I feel better. The room went quiet. Then someone snorted. Then awkward laughter spread because what she just said was so absurdly entitled, nobody could believe it was real. Security escorted them out. Brandon looked back once, genuinely embarrassed. Emma looked mortified and apologized to Amanda. Room was silent for 10 seconds. Then someone started slow clapping to break the tension. DJ turned the music back up. People started talking again. Amanda came back over. Sorry about that. Didn't think they'd actually try something? I thanked her. She waved it off. Not your drama, theirs. Honestly, best story we'll tell for years. We stayed another hour. People kept asking what happened. I kept it short. X couldn't let go. Brought her friends. They got kicked out. Sunday morning, I woke up to my phone blowing up. Messages from people I hadn't talked to in months, all sending me the same link. Someone had posted a thread. The truth about the core and what really happened. Screenshots of the group chat planning the coffee shop ambush. The conversation about the credit card. The coaching messages. The voice note transcripts. Brittany's exact words telling Natalie to use specific phrases. Then clips from Cole's livestream compared with Ivy's edited video from weeks ago. Showed how they'd cut context. How they'd framed things to make me look cold when they'd actually ambushed me. Then Jeremy's testimony. His story about Brittany. How she'd done the same to him. How the core operates like a machine. How they target anyone who tries to establish boundaries. The post ended with, "This isn't about a breakup. This is about a group who can't handle that not everyone wants to be part of their ecosystem." Devin didn't abandon Natalie. He chose himself, and they tried to destroy him for it. Comments were brutal. People calling out the entitlement. The "you're not allowed to move on" line getting memed. People recognizing therapy speak being weaponized. People pointing out bringing 5 people with cameras to someone's engagement party was unhinged. Owen called. "You see this?" "Yeah. I didn't post it." "I know. Jeremy did." Said watching Cole livestream pushed him over. Zoe called next. "You okay?" "I'm fine. Didn't want it public, but I'm not mad. They chose public. They filmed. They livestreamed. This is consequences." By Monday, everyone was talking about it. Brandon posted an apology, said he'd been wrong to enable the behavior, said he was stepping back from the core permanently, called out Brittany and Ivy specifically for recording and ambush tactics. Brittany went private, deleted posts. Radio silence. Ivy tried damage control, posted her own version, said things were taken out of context, comments destroyed her. People posting comparisons of her edited clips versus full videos. Her authenticity brand collapsed. Cole got roasted for the live stream. Comments filled with least self-aware person alive and desperate for views. Natalie didn't post anything. Went dark. Week later, Chris and Amanda sent a message to mutual friends. The core was not welcome at future events. Not because of the confrontation, but because they'd brought cameras and tried to turn someone's engagement into content. 2 weeks later, Brandon had fully cut ties. Emma had given him an ultimatum. He chose her. Brittany moved to Seattle early, burned bridges locally. Ivy and Cole broke up. When drama dried up, they had nothing. The core was done. Week after the receipts dropped, my phone buzzed. Email notification. Subject, cease and desist. RE, defamatory statements. Formal letter from an attorney I'd contacted, sent to Natalie, Brittany, and Cole. Professional language. Documented false claims. Demanded they stop all contact and remove defamatory content. Not a lawsuit threat. Just a boundary with teeth. Cost me $400. Worth it. Harassment stopped completely. 3 months later, grocery store, produce section. Turned around and there she was. Natalie. Alone. Looking tired. We made eye contact. She walked over. "Can we talk? Just for a minute? Make it quick. I just wanted to say I get it now. What you were asking for. I see what Brandon and Emma have. I never gave you that. I'm sorry. I appreciate you saying that. I was wrong. About all of it. You look happy." I am. Zoe and I are doing well. Her face did this sad thing. That's good. You deserve that. So do you. Hope you find it. Grabbed my cart and walked away. Got home and told Zoe. She asked how I felt. Fine. It's done. And it was. Natalie had apologized because she genuinely realized she was wrong. The core falling apart forced her to look at her behavior. But it was too late. 6 months later, heard Natalie was dating someone new. Making real effort to balance things. Good for her. Brittany stayed in Seattle. Ivy rebuilt slowly. Dropped the performative stuff. Cole kept chasing drama, but people stopped engaging. Brandon and Emma got engaged. Small ceremony. Owen said it was peaceful. As for me and Zoe, we're solid. Got a dog. Planning Japan. Living like adults who chose each other on purpose. Sometimes I think about those 2 years. Then I remember being told love can wait. My sister's wedding. My dad's hospital visit. anniversary plans canceled for a pregame, being told I wasn't allowed to move on until she felt better. And I remember walking away despite every pressure to stay. Best decision I ever made. Sometimes choosing yourself is the only real choice there is. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true. I became the only man in a house full of women, paid every bill they handed me while they labeled everything girls only, and still excluded my wife. When they booked a Hawaii trip with my money, I canceled it at the airport and watched their matching outfits melt down. Hey Reddit, my family treated me like an ATM they could boss around, exclude, and guilt trip whenever they felt like it. I finally snapped and cut them off, but oh boy, they did not take that well. Before it all blew up, here's what happened. I'm David, 28, married to Lucy, who honestly deserves hazard pay for dealing with my family. I always tell people I didn't grow up in a regular home. I grew up in a constant argument. Some kids have bedtime stories. My bedtime soundtrack was my parents yelling through the walls. My mom, Charlotte, had a talent for dramatic pauses, and my dad's specialty was slamming doors like he was in a competition. My dad passed away years ago after a long stretch of problems. It wasn't sudden, it was just draining. The house felt weird afterward, not quiet, just heavy. Charlotte didn't handle it well. She'd walk around sighing like she was the star of a tragic play. I remember one night she looked at me and said, "I don't know how I'm supposed to do this alone." So naturally, I got drafted as the replacement adult. Within a week, my Aunt Scarlett and her daughter Megan temporarily moved in. Scarlett said, "We'll just stay until things calm down a little." 13 years later, they're still there. Megan grew up into the human version of a nodding emoji. If Scarlett or Charlotte said the moon was square, Megan would just go, "Yeah, I guess." And then there's my sisters, the twins, Brittany and Tiffany. If you've ever wondered what would happen if a pair of makeup influencers came to life with echoing Valley Girl, literally accents, that's them. They move in sync, talk in sync, complain in sync. They even breathe in sync sometimes, and it freaks Lucy out. First time Lucy met them, we were at dinner, and the twins were arguing over their shoes. "These are creamy beige," Brittany said, holding her foot up like she was modeling for a catalog. Tiffany gasped, "No, they're soft almond." Lucy leaned over and whispered, "Isn't that the same thing?" "Don't say that out loud," I whispered back. "They'll combust." The twins also have this tiny purse dog named Baby, who wears more outfits than I do. They treat that dog like royalty. Baby once sneezed, and Tiffany panicked so hard she yelled, "Oh my God, she's literally dying." Baby was not dying. Baby was bored. After Dad passed, I was basically shoved into the man of the house role. At first, it was chores and pressure. Fix the sink, handle the problems, be the emotional support animal. But once I was older, working, and living with Lucy, it turned into bills. Fix the sink? Me. Pay half the household costs? Me. Install shelves because Scarlett wanted a cute reading corner? Me again. So yeah, I was paying for two households, while only getting the privilege of living in one. Whenever I tried pulling back a little, Charlotte would hit me with lines like, "After everything I've done for you." And Scarlett would add, "Some of us don't have the luxury of ignoring family." Translation? Keep paying. Lucy saw all this and handled it better than most would. She's steady, calm, not easily intimidated. But even she had moments of side-eye during visits. The amount of time the twins spent talking about themselves was unreal. Once, Brittany asked Lucy, "Do you think this angle makes my jawline pop?" Lucy blinked. "It's a picture of your elbow." "Yeah, but like, the vibe," Brittany said. And Lucy nodded because she didn't know what else to do. The girls' only outing started around 3 years ago. At first, I didn't mind. They'd go for ice cream or watch some movie together. Brittany acted like it was a groundbreaking cultural event. "It's like so empowering," she told me once. They went to see a PG-13 rom-com. Very empowering. Lucy even got invited to some of the early stuff. One time they took her ice skating. When she came home, she tossed her gloves on the counter and said, "I spent 20 minutes watching Tiffany yell at her skates." "What did she say?" I asked. "She said they were personally attacking her toes." Sounds about right. They also did a pottery class. Lucy enjoyed it until Brittany screamed because her clay wasn't smooth enough and blamed the instructor for sabotaging her art career. But slowly, Lucy stopped getting invited. At first, she gave them the benefit of the doubt. "Maybe it was last minute," she said. The weird shift started pretty quietly. One Saturday morning, Lucy got a text from Brittany. "We're going ice skating again? Want to come?" Lucy looked at me and said, "Should I go?" I told her, "Yeah, it can't be worse than the last time." I was wrong. It was worse. When she came home that afternoon, she dropped her jacket on the chair and just stared at the wall for a second, like she needed to reboot her brain. "You okay?" I asked. "Tiffany asked the instructor if he could fix the ice because it was too slippery," she said. "It's ice." "Yeah," Lucy said. "Exactly." After that, the invites slowed down. One day, Lucy saw on Instagram that they had gone to a pottery workshop. Brittany had posted a selfie holding a lopsided pot with the caption, "Talent just comes naturally." Next slide. Tiffany's identical pot with the exact same caption. They even used the same emoji. Lucy scrolled through it and said, "Huh, I guess they didn't think of inviting me this time." I texted Charlotte asking, "Hey, what's with the pottery thing?" Lucy would have loved that. Charlotte replied with, "It was last minute. Don't start." Which, if you've ever dealt with my mom, is her signature way of saying, "Shut up." Lucy shrugged it off. "It's fine," she said. They wanted sister time. Except it wasn't sister time, because Scarlett and Megan were also there, matching aprons and all. Megan even posted a blurry picture of her clay bowl, captioned, "Fun day with the girls." Megan is basically an echo of whatever the group wants. Lucy looked at me and said, "Okay, maybe it's not fine." The next event was a mini road trip. I only found out because Tiffany kept posting short clips from the passenger seat, wind blowing her hair everywhere, her yelling, "Road trippy," in that pitch dogs can hear. The caption said, "We've been planning this all month," when the excuse they gave Lucy was, "Oh, sorry, it literally just came up." Lucy wasn't mad at first. She was confused. "Did I do something weird?" she asked me while we were cooking dinner. Like, did I say something they didn't like? "No," I said. "Your only mistake was having a working brain." She laughed a little at that, but it didn't erase the look on her face. That kind of quiet disappointment hits harder than yelling. So I tried bringing it up again with Charlotte. I said, "Why isn't Lucy getting invited anymore? She didn't do anything wrong." Charlotte gave her classic, long, dramatic sigh. "David, please don't be difficult. This isn't a big deal." "It kind of is," I said. "It's girls only," she shot back. "Lucy is a girl," I reminded her. Charlotte paused like this was brand new information. Then she said, "Well, she's not their kind of girl?" "Right. Because she wasn't obsessed with matching outfits or screaming about vibes." A week later, they went to a concert. Brittany texted in the family chat, "Ugh, traffic is so bad going to the concert," and then immediately deleted the message. Probably realized Lucy was in the chat. The twins aren't smart enough to hide their tracks. They just panic and hit delete like it solves everything. Lucy saw it anyway because she had notifications on. She just said, "Oh, okay then." And no crying, no yelling, just quiet acceptance. Honestly, that stung way more. When the next event came around, a backyard cookout, they didn't even pretend to hide it. Brittany posted a picture of Baby the dog sitting at the picnic table wearing sunglasses. The caption said, "Girls' Day Cookout. No boys allowed," which was extra funny considering their definition of no boys apparently included Lucy now. Lucy and I were sitting on our couch watching a movie when she saw the post. She locked her phone and said, "Well, guess that answers that." "Want me to say something?" I asked. She shook her head. They know exactly what they're doing. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. It wasn't just the lack of invitations. It was the tone they used whenever Lucy was brought up. Brittany acted like Lucy was outdated software. Tiffany acted like Lucy was too serious because she didn't want 10 pictures taken of her eating a hot dog. Scarlett once said, "Lucy is sweet, but she's not bubbly." The twins need bubbly. Yeah, because that's what family relationships should be built on. Carbonated personalities. The more they excluded her, the more obvious it became that this wasn't about girl time. This was about control, cliques, and whatever imaginary hierarchy the twins used to measure self-worth. The breaking point, before things went nuclear, was when Lucy tried reaching out to Megan. She messaged her something simple like, "Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's good." Megan read it instantly and didn't reply. An hour later, Megan posted a picture with the twins captioned, "Couldn't ask for better company." Lucy looked at me and said with a tired smile, "I give up." There was no dramatic moment, no screaming, no fight. Lucy just quietly stepped back from them because they made it extremely clear she wasn't welcome. And watching her deal with that did something to me. It pulled a tension wire tight in a way that didn't snap yet, but you could hear it stretching. This wasn't just girls-only outings anymore. This was a pattern, and patterns eventually lead somewhere, usually downhill. Charlotte's birthday has always been a big deal in my family. Not surprise party with balloons and a catered dinner big, but more like everyone drops what they're doing and shows up. Even when things were rough, even when my parents were fighting over who forgot to buy milk, we still did the birthday dinner. Same restaurant every year, same booth if we were lucky, a tiny bit of consistency in a house that had none. So this year, Lucy and I did the normal thing. We bought gifts, cards, wrapped everything nicely. Lucy even picked out this really thoughtful scarf for Charlotte. Soft fabric, her favorite color, something she knew Charlotte would actually wear. I wrote a whole message in the card because I'm apparently still that son who tries. A week before her birthday, I texted Charlotte, "Hey, what time is dinner next weekend?" She replied, "Dinner. We already celebrated. I had my birthday with the girls on Saturday." I stared at my phone so long Lucy thought it froze. "What happened?" she asked. "They already celebrated," I said. "Already?" She looked genuinely confused. "Did we miss something?" "Apparently we missed everything," I said. Lucy set the scarf down and kind of blinked at it like it had betrayed her. "Wait, are you serious?" I texted back. "When were you going to tell us?" Charlotte sent one of her classic lines. "David, please don't make this dramatic. It was just easier this way." Easier for who? Certainly not for the people who rearranged their schedules for a dinner that never existed. I said, "So what do we do with the gifts?" She responded, "You can drop them off later." Right, drop them off, like we were UPS. Lucy sighed, sat back on the couch, and said quietly, "Wow, okay." It wasn't even anger, just this soft disappointment that hits way harder. She had put real thought into that gift. It wasn't some last-minute Amazon purchase like the twins usually did. Speaking of the twins, Brittany and Tiffany were already posting their birthday pictures online. Matching dresses, matching smiles, matching captions. One of them wrote, "Celebrating the Queen. Best girls' day ever." They even had a pink cake with Charlotte's name on it. A fully decorated cake. With sparklers. Lucy tilted her head. "So they planned this in advance." "Oh yeah," I said. "Definitely last minute. Just like they always say." A few hours later, Brittany texted the family group chat, the one we were still in back then. "Yesterday was literally so perfect." Lucy nudged me and whispered, "Bet they practiced that caption." I texted Brittany privately, "Why didn't you guys tell us about the dinner?" She replied 3 minutes later, We didn't think you'd care?" Also, Lucy gets bored at restaurants, LOL. Lucy saw that over my shoulder. "I get bored?" she repeated. "I've literally sat through Tiffany explaining eyelash glue for 40 minutes. I laughed because that was true. Tiffany once gave a TED talk about fake lashes at the dinner table. I almost fell asleep face first into my mashed potatoes. I called Charlotte because texting wasn't cutting it. When she answered, she did the annoyed sigh thing immediately. "David, what now?" I said. "It's weird that we weren't invited. We go every year." She said, "This wasn't family dinner. This was a girls' outing." "Lucy is a girl," I pointed out. "That's different," she snapped back. "How is that different?" I asked. Charlotte hesitated, then said, "She's not part of that circle." "Circle," I repeated. "Are we in high school now?" Before she could answer, I heard Tiffany's voice in the background. "Mom, tell him he's literally making this weird." Then Brittany chimed in, "It wasn't that deep." "Yeah, not deep, just hurtful." Lucy touched my arm and mouthed, "It's okay," but it wasn't. Not anymore. Charlotte said, "You can come by and give me the gifts later. I'm busy right now." Busy, with the twins hovering around her like they're her personal cheer squad. When the call ended, Lucy just sat there quietly for a moment. Then she said, "I really thought, you know, birthdays were for everyone." "They used to be," I said. "Back when people actually gave a crap." We still decided to drop off the gifts because we didn't want to stoop to their level. Lucy even insisted on coming with me. "I'm not hiding," she said. "I didn't do anything wrong." When we arrived, Charlotte opened the door but didn't invite us in. She stood there with that look, annoyed, impatient, like we were door-to-door salespeople interrupting her afternoon. "Here," I said, handing her the gift bags. She took them without saying thank you. Lucy said, "I hope you like the scarf." Charlotte's answer? "Uh-huh." Then Brittany and Tiffany appeared behind her in matching oversized sweaters, sipping iced coffees and glaring at us like we had shown up uninvited to a royal banquet. Brittany whispered, loudly, "Awkward." Tiffany whispered back, even louder, "Why are they making this a thing?" Lucy clenched her jaw but stayed polite. "Happy birthday," she said. Charlotte just nodded and closed the door. Not even a full goodbye. Just door in our faces. Back in the car, Lucy buckled her seatbelt and stared ahead. "I'm done trying," she said. Not angry, just tired. That's when it hit me. Everything was sliding into a direction I hadn't seen before. Not just exclusion, not just rudeness, something more deliberate, something that felt like they wanted Lucy and me on the outside. And something in me shifted too. A quiet, steady line got drawn. I didn't say anything dramatic out loud. I just started paying closer attention, and it didn't take long to see where it was headed next. If Charlotte's birthday was the moment the red flags started multiplying, the Hawaii trip was the moment those flags unionized and formed a marching band. So here's the setup. Every single year since I was a kid, our family did one big vacation together. Sometimes it was a beach rental, sometimes a cabin, sometimes a place with more bugs than walls, but still, it was family vacation. Even when my dad was around and my parents were basically reenacting their own private war, we still went. This year, no one said a thing. No dates, no hints, no planning. Nothing. The group chat was quieter than Megan in a room full of opinions. Then, one random morning, Lucy walked into the living room holding her phone like it was radioactive. "David," she said, voice flat, "you're going to want to see this." I took her phone. Brittany was at the airport in a neon pink Hawaiian shirt over her bikini top, hair curled like she was auditioning for a shampoo commercial. Tiffany was behind her making duck lips with a lei around her neck. Baby the dog was wearing sunglasses. The caption, "Hawaii, here we come. Girls only." I blinked hard. Lucy said, Are they going to Hawaii?" "Oh, they're going," I said. "Question is, how did they pay for it?" Because Brittany had tagged the airline, and for half a second, a little record locator code flashed on screen when she panned past her boarding pass. I typed the code into the airline's Manage Booking page with my last name, and it pulled right up. Lucy leaned in. No way. The contact name and email were mine. The billing info was mine. Every receipt had my card on it. Traveler names, Charlotte, Brittany, Tiffany, Scarlett, Megan, and baby listed as a service animal, which baby absolutely is not. Lucy covered her mouth. "They used your name and money without telling you." "Without telling me," I said, and with the confidence of people who have never faced consequences. I clicked through the confirmations. Hotel booked with my card. Car rental with my card. Some random luau package with my card. It looked like I was the proud planner of a luxury vacation for 6 grown women and a purse dog. Lucy whispered, "They basically robbed you," with enthusiasm. Another story popped up. Tiffany screamed into the camera, "We're literally going to get tan and drink out of pineapples!" Brittany leaned in and yelled, "Can't wait to relax without drama! Girls only!" Lucy stared. "Relax without drama," she repeated, while committing credit card fraud. Something in my soul clicked into place. Not rage, not sadness, just clarity. Lucy asked, "What are you thinking?" "That they're about to experience the consequences of thinking my wallet is community property," I said. We waited until the boarding line started moving, not because I'm a monster, but because timing matters. Then I opened the airline app. I hit cancel trip. The app threw up a warning about fees and refund rules. I confirmed anyway. The booking flipped to canceled on my screen. Next, I canceled what I could on the hotel and car reservations. Anything that wouldn't let me cancel, I removed my card from and called to flag as unauthorized. If they wanted a girls-only trip, they could fund it girls-only style. 10 minutes later, my phone started vibrating like it was trying to escape the apartment. Charlotte. "David, fix this. Now." Brittany. "Mom is crying. What did you do?" Tiffany. "They won't let us board. They said it's canceled." Scarlett. "David, this is childish and cruel. How dare you humiliate us?" Megan. "They said we need to go to the counter. What do I say?" Lucy read over my shoulder. "Should we feel bad?" "Nope," I said. "Not even a little." Brittany sent a voice message. I played it on speaker. "David, why would you do this? You're literally ruining our vibes. They made us step out of line in front of everyone. Baby is traumatized." In the background, baby barked once, like even she was judging them. Lucy sat back on the couch and whispered, "This is the funniest thing I've ever witnessed." Then Charlotte texted, "We will talk. Expect me soon." Lucy raised her eyebrows. "She's coming here, isn't she?" "Oh yeah," I said. "And she's bringing a storm." I knew Charlotte was coming before she even pulled into the parking lot because she called me 3 times in a row without leaving a voicemail. That's her signature move. The "I'm too angry to speak, but also too angry not to call" combo. Lucy peeked through the blinds and said, "Red SUV, she's here." "Wonderful," I said. "Let me go prepare my spirit." Charlotte didn't even make it up the stairs quietly. She stomped like she was trying to shake the entire building. Then came the banging. Bang, bang, bang. David, open this door right now. Lucy took a deep breath. Be calm. Don't let her bait you. Oh, trust me, I said. I'm fresh out of bait. I opened the door a crack. Hi. Charlotte shoved right past me like she was a cop executing a warrant. Don't hi me, she snapped. She walked straight into the apartment, scanning everything like she was evaluating her disappointment. Lucy stood there, arms crossed. Please don't touch anything. Charlotte whipped around. Oh, I'm sorry, did I raise a disrespectful son and daughter-in-law? Yes, I said. You did. Lucy hid a smile behind her hand. Charlotte ignored us and went straight for the entry table, where she grabbed my mail and tossed it on the floor like she was demonstrating her emotional state through interpretive littering. You embarrassed your entire family today, she shouted. I shrugged. Well, they embarrassed my credit card first, so I guess we're even. She gasped like I'd committed a federal offense. You canceled our trip. No, I said calmly. I canceled the trip booked under my account and paid for with my card. You could have talked to us, she said dramatically. Oh yeah, I said. Because you all communicate so well. Charlotte marched into the living room, knocking over the small ceramic bowl on the table. It rolled across the floor, clinking like it was trying to escape the drama. Lucy stepped between her and the rest of the apartment. Charlotte, you can't just walk around causing a mess. This is our home. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlotte snapped. I didn't realize respect only applies one direction in this marriage. I raised a hand. Actually, the lack of respect is kind of the point. Then my phone buzzed again. Brittany, please tell Mom to come back to the airport. They said we can maybe fix it if the card owner comes. Not happening, I muttered, turning off notifications. That's when Charlotte hit her go-to guilt trip voice. Soft, wounded, dramatic. We are your family, David. You don't turn your back on family. Yeah, I said. Yet here we are. You ruined everything, she said. Funny, I said. That's exactly how I describe you using my identity to book a luxury vacation. Lucy added, also you excluded us and pretended it was normal. Charlotte waved her off. This isn't about you, Lucy. Everything is about Lucy, I corrected. She's my wife. Charlotte scoffed like that was optional. Then, while she was mid-rant, I picked up my phone and started ripping through every provider account tied to my email. Lucy raised an eyebrow. Are you doing what I think you're doing? Oh, yes, I said. Today is the day. What are you doing? Charlotte demanded. Cutting the cord, I said. She blinked. What cord? The money cord, I said. The bills cord. The David pays for everything while getting treated like a doormat cord. Charlotte frowned. You wouldn't. I tapped the confirmation button. Wi-Fi account? Canceled. Electricity account in my name? Terminated. Phone plan I paid for? Removed them. Streaming services? Logged out everywhere and canceled. Auto pay for groceries? Gone. Random subscription Brittany had signed up for with my card? Deleted so fast my thumb got whiplash. Then I switched credit cards entirely and froze the one they had memorized. Lucy said, You're changing your card info too? Absolutely, I said. This is a full cleanse. Charlotte's jaw dropped. You are sabotaging your own family. I'm setting boundaries, I corrected. You should try it sometime. What are we supposed to do without the bills paid? She demanded. Pay them yourselves, I said. Crazy concept, I know. She looked physically offended. You can't just abandon us? I didn't abandon anyone, I said. I stopped sponsoring a group who treats my wife like an outsider and treats me like an ATM with legs. Lucy's eyes widened slightly. She wasn't expecting that line, but she looked proud in that quiet, supportive way she does. Charlotte pointed at Lucy. This is her fault. She's turning you against us. No, I said. You did that on your own. She just witnessed it. Charlotte finally stepped back toward the door, furious and shaking her head. If this is how you want to be, then fine. Just remember who raised you. Trust me, I said. I couldn't forget even if I tried. Lucy exhaled hard the moment the door closed behind her. Are you okay? She asked. I nodded. Yeah, actually, yeah. She smiled a little. You finally did it. Yep, I said. I unsubscribed from my family. She laughed, leaned her head on my shoulder and said, Honestly? Good. But the chaos wasn't done. Not even close. Charlotte and the twins weren't the type to go quietly. They regrouped. They plotted. They came back swinging. After Charlotte's dramatic exit from our apartment, Lucy and I had about 24 hours of silence, which in my family is basically a solar eclipse. Rare, eerie, and a sign that something unsettling is about to happen. Around noon the next day, my phone buzzed with a text from Scarlett. Family meeting. Tonight. 7. Mandatory. Mandatory. Like we were employees at some dysfunctional company. Lucy glanced at the message and said, "Sounds fun. I'm expecting snacks at least," I replied. We showed up to Charlotte's house at 7 sharp. I was already preparing myself mentally, and Lucy whispered, "No sarcasm unless necessary." "With this group," I said, "it'll be necessary." When Charlotte opened the door, she had that tight-lipped expression she saves for when she wants to look composed, but is seconds from exploding. She motioned us inside without speaking, which was a first. Usually she greets me with a lecture. The living room was a scene. Brittany and Tiffany sitting on the couch in matching sweatsuits, arms folded, glaring like I had ruined their birthday Christmas and senior prom all at once. Scarlett sat on the recliner like she was presiding over a trial. Megan sat next to her, nodding at nothing, staring at us like she had been instructed to. As soon as we sat, Charlotte launched in. "You two owe this family an apology." Lucy and I exchanged a look, that subtle married people telepathy, where both parties say, "What the hell?" without moving their lips. "For what exactly?" I asked. Scarlett huffed. "Don't play dumb." Brittany sniffled dramatically. "We literally almost missed our vacation because of you." Tiffany chimed in. "We were humiliated at the airport. Humiliated." Lucy raised an eyebrow. "You mean the vacation you booked with David's name and money without telling him?" Tiffany blinked. "You're being so dramatic right now." "Dramatic?" Lucy repeated. "You committed fraud." Scarlett waved a hand. "Let's not exaggerate." "I'm not exaggerating," Lucy said. "You stole his identity to book a trip?" Megan nodded along like a bobblehead toy and whispered, "Yeah, but it was for a good reason." Lucy turned to her. "A good reason?" Megan shrunk back. "I don't know. I'm just saying what they said." "Exactly." Charlotte took a deep breath, trying to steer the conversation back to whatever point she thought she had. "This isn't about the trip anymore. This is about the post." I frowned. "What post?" Scarlett sighed dramatically. "Don't act clueless." "The post about us online." "Ah, the Reddit thread. The one they somehow found. Because they can't mind their own business even on the internet. I'd posted a shorter version earlier from a throwaway. This is the full update." Charlotte continued. "You made us look like monsters." "Well," I said, "I didn't name anyone." "You didn't have to," Tiffany snapped. "Anyone who knows us knows it was us." Lucy crossed her arms. "So you're mad he told the truth?" Scarlett glared. "He told his version of the truth." David's dry humor kicked in before I could stop it. "Sorry, let me go back and rewrite the part where you used my credit card without permission." Charlotte ignored the jab. "You painted us as selfish and exclusive." "Because you are," I said. "You literally said we exclude you," Brittany added, offended. "You do," I said. "We don't," Tiffany cried. Lucy held up a finger. "Okay, quick check. How many times have you invited me in the last 3 months?" Tiffany bit her lip. "Well, like, you wouldn't have liked the stuff we did." "What did you do?" Lucy asked. "Pottery, concerts, cookouts, road trips?" Lucy shook her head. "All things I do like." Brittany huffed. "But like, not with us." "Exactly," Lucy said. That shut them up for a second. Just a second. Charlotte pointed at me again. "You need to apologize for embarrassing us." "No," I said simply. Scarlett gasped like I slapped her with a Bible. "Excuse me?" "No," I repeated. "I'm not apologizing because I didn't lie." Charlotte slammed her hand on the coffee table. "Then this family is done with you," Lucy whispered under her breath. "Finally." I held her hand and stood. "If that's how you feel, then okay. We're done." Brittany let out a gasp like she was auditioning for a soap commercial. "He doesn't even care." I shrugged. "Not anymore." We left. Lucy didn't speak until we got in the car. "Well," she said, "that went about how I expected." "Honestly," I said, "I thought there'd be more screaming." "I'd same," she said. "Kind of disappointed." We laughed the whole drive home. But the next morning, that's when things got peak ridiculous. I opened our apartment door to head to work, and there it was. A bright orange piece of paper taped to the door. Eviction notice. Lucy came over, stared at it, and muttered, "No, absolutely not. They did not just do this." I peeled it off. The grammar was, well, very Charlotte-coded. Words spelled wrong. Legal terms missing. It literally said, "eviction for being disrespect." Lucy crossed her arms. They didn't even try. I called our landlord. "Hey, am I being evicted?" I asked casually. She laughed. "What? No. Who told you that?" "No one," I said. "Just confirming." It was fake, obviously. Lucy shook her head. "Next, they'll send a fake subpoena written in glitter pen." I tucked the paper into a drawer. Not to keep, just to document. Lucy put a hand on my back. "We're done with them, David." "Yeah," I said. We really are. The first 48 hours after the fake eviction notice were honestly the quietest moments Lucy and I had experienced since the whole mess began. Not peaceful quiet, though. The kind of quiet where you know a storm might be coming, but also maybe the storm forgot your address. Then Charlotte texted, "The electricity is off. Fix it." I read it out loud to Lucy while she buttered toast. She nodded calmly. "Yeah, that'll happen when the person you treated like the utilities department quits." I replied with, "Not my house anymore." 30 seconds later, a paragraph arrived. Charlotte had typed so quickly, her message looked like alphabet soup. "You've abandoned us! We can't live like this!" I put my phone down and took a bite of my breakfast. First peaceful meal I'd had in weeks. Next came Scarlett. "The Wi-Fi stopped working. Megan can't do her schoolwork." Lucy leaned over my shoulder. "Isn't Megan 22? "Yes," I said. "But apparently she still has homework assigned by the twins' TikTok feed." Scarlett followed up with, "You need to reconnect the service. We rely on it." I responded with, "So reconnect it." There was a long pause, the kind of pause where you can practically hear a guilt tripper rebooting. Then, "Wow, after everything we've done for you." Lucy laughed so hard she almost choked on her toast. Within 2 hours, Brittany and Tiffany joined the group meltdown. Brittany, "Our phones won't work, OMG?" Tiffany, "It says we're not on Dadvid's plan anymore? What did you do?" "Dadvid," Lucy whispered. "New name unlocked." I replied, "Correct. You're no longer on my phone plan." Brittany instantly sent 3 voice messages. I played one. "David, I can't call anyone. This is literally illegal. You can't just cancel phones, we need our phone-ease." In the background, Tiffany yelled, "How am I supposed to post anything?" Lucy leaned back on the couch. "I hate them, but this is better than TV." By lunchtime, chaos had evolved. Charlotte texted, "We can't unlock the thermostat, it's asking for a code, give it." "Ah, yes," I said. The thermostat I bought and installed and connected to my email. Lucy sipped her coffee. "You should make them guess the code. Let them treat it like an escape room." I almost did. But the code wasn't a code. It was my login, because I was the account owner. Charlotte, "It's cold in here. Wear a sweater." Brittany, "I can see my breath." Lucy, "Good. Maybe they'll freeze into silence." Not likely. By evening, Scarlett tried a different tactic. The classic guilt trip revival. "Your father would be ashamed." Ah, yes. The ultimate card. The one she loved to pull whenever logic failed. I wrote back, "My father would be ashamed you committed fraud for a vacation." She didn't reply after that. Later that night, Lucy and I sat on the couch, scrolling through streaming services we didn't have to share anymore. I felt lighter, like someone finally removed a 100-pound backpack from my shoulders. Lucy nudged me. "You okay?" "Yeah," I said. "Yeah, for the first time in forever." She wrapped her arm around me and rested her head on my shoulder. "You did the right thing." "I know," I said. "I just didn't expect it to feel this peaceful." But the world wasn't done with us yet. Around 10 p.m., there was a knock at our door. Not a banging knock, more like a timid little tap. Lucy whispered, "If it's Charlotte, we pretend we died." I opened the door a crack. It was Megan, holding a dying houseplant like a peace offering. Hi," she said. I didn't know where else to go. Lucy and I exchanged a glance. Megan stepped inside awkwardly. "So, everything's kind of falling apart over there." "Yeah," I said. "We heard." She held the plant closer. "They're freaking out because none of us know how to set up the utilities, or the Wi-Fi, or the phone plans, or the thermostat, or anything really." Lucy raised an eyebrow. "They never learned?" "No," Megan said. "They said that was your job." I snorted. "Of course they did." Megan hesitated. "I'm not here to fight. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for the stuff I didn't speak up about." Lucy softened a little. She motioned for Megan to sit. Megan placed the plant on our coffee table. "Also, this plant is dying. I didn't know what else to bring." I poked the soil. "It's mostly dust, Megan." "Yeah," she said. "Like our house right now." Lucy bit her lip, trying not to laugh. Megan looked at us, eyes wide and anxious. "So, are you guys really done? Like, done? "Yes," I said. "We are." Megan nodded slowly. "I figured. Charlotte is losing it." "Shocking," Lucy said. "She keeps saying you'll come crawling back," Megan mumbled. "But I don't think you will." Lucy squeezed my hand. "No, we won't." Megan got up. "Okay, I should go back before they realize I left." She stopped at the door. "For what it's worth, I think you two were the only sane people in the family." Then she left, and that was that. The days after were blissfully quiet. Just peace. Lucy and I went out more, ate dinner without interruptions, slept without worrying someone would call at 3 a.m. We even started planning a trip of our own, one we would pay for, choose, and enjoy without matching outfits or screaming twins. One night, as we sat on the couch watching a movie, Lucy said, "You know, your family might never talk to us again." I shrugged. "Good," she smiled. "Yeah, good." And that's how it ended. Beautiful, quiet, clean distance. Turns out sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is cut the cord, especially when the cord is powering everyone else's chaos but your own. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.